And we back. So I just finished getting the bell, doing all that hoopla. Where we at? Yeah, I got the bell. I got the sunfire. Yeah. We supposed to go north of Finn. So yeah, this is my first time playing Final Fantasy 2. I just finished playing Final Fantasy 1, classic. The story, save the princess, easy, and that really set it off. I'm pretty sure it's not spoilers right now. So Garland is the big bad at the end after the four fiends. He did some time loop shenanigans, and that was crazy. I'm going north, but I don't know. Let me backtrack a little bit. It's probably in the cut, right? I think I accidentally turned, yeah. My bad, I got the Pro controller. Sometimes I be... But yeah, Final Fantasy 1 was classic. Really great story, well written. Knowing what I know now, going back about the four crystals, it was very well done. The dungeons were cool, and it's been very refreshing playing an old school RPG, you know? Uh, Spoiler alert, I'm 29. So I was not there for most of the conception of Final Fantasy, especially the early titles. I mean, Final Fantasy 7 came out the year I was born. I didn't play that until I turned 29 this year. So take that with a grain of salt, and but I'm an open-minded book, and it's been really refreshing playing these older games because there's no quest log, there's no nothing. You really gotta, like, for Final Fantasy 1, I was sitting down, I took notes in my phone just to like remember certain things they were saying or where to go. And I'm really bad with directions. Oh my gosh. But it wasn't that crazy of a game. Maybe it's because I did use more of the auto battle towards the end, and obviously for level grinding. But I went start to finish. I beat it in like 19-20 hours for Final Fantasy 1. And it was a pretty fulfilling experience. No complaints. And it was really cool chopping it up with my boy Dari, because he was like, yo, seeing you play Final Fantasy is giving me like reminiscent vibes of the amazing world of Gumball. That one episode where they were like fake living RPG with the UI and everything. And we were just vibing, reminiscing about all the different references in TV. So little tidbits like that are cool. I've been enjoying that a whole lot. The music, fire. The new arrangements, heat. Really love them. The overall game is just dope. You could tell off rip from Final Fantasy 1 to Final Fantasy 2, they turned up the color. A lot of the artwork and the sprites, way more color. It pops now. I'm not sure if that was intended as far as like originally way back when it was on like the SNES or Nintendo system, but for the Pixel Remaster, that's all I could go by. It's clean. Woo. And it's really engaging. This is one of those games like I love playing in handheld mode. Like I could post up, play this real quick, run the ones. And the small quality life doesn't deter the difficulty, you know? It's not like you have God mode or anything. It's just speed up battles, auto battle, um, turn off encounters, and I believe like auto run. So something cool. Oh, caught me. But one thing, another big difference is the battle system or like the leveling system. Like, as you can see, if I slow it down, well, you guys probably already know, but I didn't know. So this is news to me. But you separate your items from your character leveling. And like, where can I go? The stats right here. So you level up your proficiency in your skill levels, and your character stats are kind of like off to the side, but kind of basic. I know. I haven't really been having too much fun. They took my boy Shepherd. All right, so another thing you probably noticed, I changed the names. I'm a big fan of Pokemon. I like nicknaming my Pokemon, so that's where we at with it. And I changed the names to my friends that I be gaming with. In Final Fantasy 1, we had Dari, SK, Hoodlum, and and I went with the classic party. I didn't really like change it off too much. I didn't change their jobs, so we had the standard default jobs. And that rogue, like, the thief ninja was cool until it wasn't. Like the last part, I want to say like the last half of Final Fantasy 1, the ninja, maybe it was me, maybe it's a skill issue on me, but it was useless. Big ups to Dari the priest for carrying me, and SK Wizard Fire. We needed that. The temper stacks crazy, haste stacks crazy, and even little things like that, like just stacking stuff. I love Shangri-La Frontier as another anime I love watching. This and Final Fantasy 14 Online just dropped for Switch too, so you can only imagine how I feel. It's like the perfect time to jump into Square Enix, bro. And I'm gonna be real with y'all once more. They got me in a headlock. And one thing that really inspired me about running through all the old Final Fantasy games was not only just playing the 7 remake series or trilogy, but bro, I also had Final Fantasy Tactics. That game was kicking my butt for like the better part of 6 months. I was just fumbling through trying to figure it out. We eventually rolled credits. We eventually did it. Shout out to Ramza. Crazy what they did to Delita. Crazy. But karma be like that. Very surreal story. I did the Evilise Chronicles. I think on my second playthrough, I'll go for the OG version. But wholesome game, dog. And strategy RPGs are probably my least favorite, or they're probably my least favorite of the like subgenres RPGs. But yes, still in all, Evilise Chronicles was a phenomenal game. Story A1, very well written, and the gameplay was smooth. Even there, the quality of life didn't change up the difficulty too much as made it more palatable and easy to digest. And I could always appreciate that, because I think one thing with like my generation and younger is like we're like we're starting to get stuck in our ways as far as what we do and don't like. And even me, I'm more inquisitive and I'm an open-minded person, so I'm always going to be curious. And I came up in that time like right before the cusp of, really, how do you say, like being outside to being inside on technology and stuff, right? And I'm not really big, like there's a lot of games I remember, like Final Fantasy 1 and 2 were games I had on Game Boy SP or Game Boy Advance, right? And I never really played them. Like I fumbled through them and then I went right back to Pokemon. I did play like Crash or like the little spin-off of other games on my Game Boy, but like I know like there's probably a lot of heat that I had or that I looked over. For one, because I was a snot-nosed kid. Let's get that first and out the way. I'm a very simple man and I was a very simple kid. Give me my Pokemon, Nintendo, right? Give me my Sonic, give me my, but even now growing up, or even by the age of like 14, 16-ish, you get like that curiosity and you want to do your homework, but without like remakes or just updated or quality of life improvements, it's really jarring. And it can be really jarring. It can be very much of a headache to go do the homework, even if you want to, you know? So, all in all, I, yeah, I do be wanting new games more than anything, but I could understand a well appreciated and well put together remake, especially if it makes sense. If there's things like locked behind a specific generation entirely, yeah, port that, update it, do something with it, release the code. But I was lucky to find the Pixel Collection physical for the low ski, so I figure why not 29. I think I have a pretty good enough understanding to digest story and quality and really appreciate like the progression, because even from, oh yeah, from Final Fantasy 1 to 2, right? You have your skill levels. The drama in the game, like Final Fantasy 1, even though you save the princess early and then like you flip to go fight the fiends, the game is kind of slow. Like, and this is me playing with like auto run or like auto battle, right? It's still kind of slow for what it is. And I know in the moment and in context of like the Super Nintendo and things like that, you really like it was a mind-breaking game, you know? But it was still slow nonetheless. And that's probably because I'm a little June bug. I'm still running around here whipping snapping. But all in all, man, Final Fantasy 2 started off crazy. Immediate story, drama, boom, boom. We're at war, boom, they dropping bombs. I just finished getting to the part where we failed to destroy the dreadnought, and they came back and kidnapped Princess Hilda after her pops died. Like, it's been a lot of tragedy back to back, and I'm just wondering to see where it goes. Because aside from the color and the crazy story, even the exploration, and it feels different, bro. Because the fact that they stole your mans and we still have yet to find them, I thought we have yet to infiltrate that like imperial capital city, Flynn or whatever. I'm supposed to be going to a city north of Flynn. There's supposed to be like a camp or something. And this is another thing with Final Fantasy. Like, I gotta go back. I gotta use my phone and take notes. Like, oh, where was I supposed to go? Because we don't got a quest log. We don't have a little like encyclopedia or something, you know? All right. Here we go. So I'm still trying to figure it out, dog. We gonna be wandering for a minute. Hold on. North of Castle Finn. We about to just fly out. I ain't even gonna lie. Yeah, we might have to fly out. On the bright side, accidental grinding and you get level experience. It's gonna pay off in the long run. Oh, it's going down out there. It's going down. might be a little awkward because you hear me talking. It might be a little lag and delay. But we in this bit. Maybe I'm going too far north. Maybe that's my problem. But gaming's been in a good space. It's been fire. I could say I got the Switch 2 day one, and we're a little bit over a year and some change. And it's been fire. Great releases, something for everybody. And funny enough, even being on the Switch 2 has really dug up my Switch 1 collection. Like, maybe one day I'll like post up, not on some flexing, but just to share with y'all what I got. Because, like I said before in a previous video, most of my library is digital, and that still holds true. I think right now I'm at like 91, 92 digital games, somewhere around there. But yeah, there's been like a huge physical renaissance. I almost said resonance. Shout out to Final Fantasy. But there's been a huge renaissance. See, almost caught me again. For the physical, and yeah, you could, I wouldn't say Sony's discontinuation of physical disc was the thing that set it off. I would say that was the final straw to like really set people over the edge, because one thing, I play Pokemon, right? So I've been used to this. Pokemon games never go down. I don't care if it's a well, minus the GBA games that are like locked behind Gen 3 where you can't transfer Pokemon, right? Normally, and even in those cases, if you have a complete unbox, you're seeing Brett. But all in all, you gotta understand that Pokemon games don't go down. So I low-key came up in the environment used to that, seeing that already. It's nothing new to me. But at this point where we at with it, it's more so the fact that since 2018 through the going into the pandemic type, everybody was stuck inside, yeah. But me, I can remember even before 2018 in the pandemic, right? Where secondhand and retro gaming, aside from thrifting, right? And a lot of the entertainment and media comes back and runs in cycles. But all in all, dog, like, I feel like when the cycle pivoted and it turned, the paradigm shift happened, was when it went from secondhand and retro games being the cheaper option to it being the aesthetic and the trend. And I'm not mad at the trend. Trends will always be a thing. I do agree that they've been a lot more centralized because of social media, which has like really messed up like regional vibes and regional sounds, and just like how people communicate with each other region to region, as far as America is concerned, because I can't speak on the world, but I do take note. Shout out Japan. But a lot of the things is like centralized, homogenized, and that even comes to opinions in gaming, right? And how gaming functions. Long tangent just to say that uniqueness goes a long way. I forgot where I was with it. The game caught me. I really should be leveling up my magic since I'm BSing here. Well, I'm letting these auto battles go. But if you're a fan of classic RPGs, oh yeah, now I know where I'm at, right? So coming up, like, even it had to be 20, no earlier than 2017, no later than 2021, right? But I bought a GameCube, Pokemon XD, Pokemon Coliseum, I believe Beautiful Joe, and another game, all for less than $1.60. The GameCube itself was no more than like $70, right? And I'm, yeah, way less than a buck, because the GameCube itself was like no more than $70, and then each game was like $20, $25 tops, right? And I was doing that in between time, meantime, because like I've said, I've always wanted physical games of games that mean a lot to me, and I came up on the GameCube. Like, so Beautiful Joe, Capcom, bring Beautiful Joe back. I know I'm on Square Enix right now, but Capcom, bring Beautiful Joe back. Definitely for the Switch. Like, if anything, make that a Switch 2 exclusive, or bring it to NSO. Either way, do it. Do it. Do it. But all in all, right? I love the physical games of things that hold sentimental value to me, or things that really just like I'm interested in. Because even the Switch collection that I got now, right? Coming up, and when I say coming up, I mean from age 3 all the way to age like 20, right? I feel like those are your prime gaming years. Well, like really the prime is in between there, like 14 to like 17, but that big scan, that like that 4 to 20, that was me right there. I'm still a heavy gamer. Like, I'm definitely more than a casual gamer, but those were my come up years, right? Like 4 to like 19. 4 to 19, those were my come up years as a gamer, right? So on the come up, right? Like, there's a lot of games that I missed or that I just didn't care for, because like I said before, you're a snot-nosed kid for most of that. And then when you figure out the things you do like, or the things that you actually want to partake in, you're still figuring it out. And then, so where I'm at with it is that as much as I love RPGs and JRPGs, I was not playing Final Fantasy. And like my physical collection now, I have all the Switch Final Fantasies. I've only played Final Fantasy Crisis Core and Final Fantasy Advanced Tactics coming up. I played 10-2. I sneaked and I played 10-2. Yeah. Those 3. That was it. And then later on, I played 13 for a little while. Fire. I fuck with 13 heavy. Heavy. I nominate those for the next remake trilogies. You don't even gotta remake them going crazy. Just give us a remaster, port it. Clean it up a little bit, port it. I'm good. Port it. All 3. 3 of them things. But yeah, dog. So my physical collection now, you would think off the hand looking for it, like, oh man, like super nostalgia based, coolly cool. Nah. And there was another statistic I seen that even amongst like most gamers, they're not buying and playing new games. They're buying and playing like older releases. And by new games, I think they set the bar at like release between the last 3 years. I think the 3-year cutoff. So going off that, the newest game in my collection would either be Adventures of Elliot, Rebirth, or Indiana Jones, right? But most of this is like ancient Final Fantasy 1 through 12, right? Octopath Traveler 1 and 2. Shout out to Octopath. Traveler 0 is what put me in my bag. Cool. But even on a grander scale, that also translates. And I've learned a lot being in game chat, chopping it up, talking to new people. It's been a very surreal experience on Nintendo because, and big ups to the homies, but you get to really see people who were there. Like there's certain people on my friends list that they saw the the NES come into being. Like they were teenagers already. Like they were like kids already when before it came. Like they saw it in store. And seeing them like get sentimental about the NSO or even like Virtual Boy or even little things like cameos that happen in different Nintendo IPs is crazy, and it's a dope experience for me because naturally I was just here for Pokemon, and all my other games on my Nintendo consoles coming up were third-party games that I had elsewhere. Were just things I thought were cool. Shout out to Magical Star Sign. Fire. I feel like if you don't know, if you like Octopath Traveler, go check out Magical Star Sign. You can either sail the seas or find a copy on eBay, whatever takes your ease, you know? But regardless, I think that one really set the tone crazy and a good precedent. I wouldn't want to call it a hidden gem because it's the second game in its series. But Magical Star Sign is fire, for sure. And that's another thing, Magical Vacation, the first game, I missed that one on Game Boy. I missed it, completely went over my head. I found Magical Star Sign on DS back when I was looking for Pokemon, I believe Ranger or Blue Rescue Team. We were at the PX and they didn't have that. No, we were looking for, I believe, Platinum or something. It had to be, it was Gen 4 time. But I left with Pokemon Ranger and Magical Star Sign because they didn't have the Pokemon that I wanted. And I bring it back home. Of course, I run through Pokemon Ranger. Phenomenal. Yeah, we scratched up the screen a little bit with the stylus going too crazy, but that game brought the pain out of you. And then a little bit later after, because naturally, like, I ended up getting the Pokemon game I wanted a little bit later. So I want to say probably months after picking it up, that's when I picked up, actually played Magical Star Sign, right? And that's when I actually played Magical Star Sign. And that game, who's not, oh my god, what is going on? Right? But I did it, and it was definitely, I also had a PSP, right? And oh, that's another thing. The PSP was undefeated because there's certain games that were locked to Japan that we only got in America because it had a PSP or a PS Vita version, right? I was way more into handheld gaming coming up than console gaming. Like, we had consoles at the crib and you play your like big games on that. But most of the time, even at the crib, you catch me on my DS, my PSP, my Vita for a little while, my 3DS going crazy. And that core feeling, I get it now that I'm starting to get up there, Unk status, yeah. But I'm getting it now. Why the whole trend in aesthetic, yearning for that feeding of your inner child and retro gaming. Don't mean I agree though, right? Because it's weird that we're looking back, there's consoles that are like 10 plus each. And $300 some odd for 3DS in 2026 is crazy, especially when the Nintendo Switch Lite is like $200 now, even after price increase. It's like $250 or something. You're telling me, and like, albeit a modded 3DS goes crazy. One of the best entertainment handhelds you could probably own. Cool. But $350 for something that's used. You're not, it's used. And even if it's not used, it's outdated. Can like, and if we see as a people that like consoles are getting more expensive overall and as a whole, can we like cut the low man a deal? Like, let's keep the secondhand market low, you know? Let's keep it true. Cause how else are we supposed to be able to introduce new people into gaming? Because bruh, y'all were talking about the Switch 2 being what, $450, $500, right? How y'all feeling about Xbox after all those price increases? Like, they hit 3 price increases in 1 year, which is wicked works. And then PlayStation last minute. How you feel about renting a PlayStation? Because personally, I like to keep my toys. I'm not giving them back. It's my toy. I'm gonna work for my toy. And then the price increase, talking about 1,000 and change after tax. $950 sounds cool, but it's really 1,000 and change after tax. Like, let's be honest. It's already setting the precedent for the PS6. Obviously, it's gonna break 1,000. If the Steam machine broke 1,000, common sense is telling me that the PS6 and the Xbox Helix have to break 1,000. They have to break 1,300, not 1,000, 1,300. But do I want them to? No. Hopefully the market and all the suits against the memory price jacking and all that, hopefully that goes through and it regulates itself and everything simmers back down. But in the meantime, I feel like they're trying to either prolong this problem in the sake of profit, or they're just like, it is what it is. And I'm not an economist or anybody that's too bureaucratic behind the scenes when it comes to that side. I just love my video games and I just want to do what I do, you know? Very simple at heart. But all in all, it's cool to, and then that's the thing, motherfuckers be turning things into aesthetics and not even popping off with it. And now we just sitting here with scalpers and it's weird, man. Like, it's crazy works. I'm a firm believer of, if you have a natural inclination or insight, or you really like it or care about it, that's your jam biscuit, you deserve a fair right to own it. Like, you shouldn't have to be fighting with robot scalpers out here using program and AI to farm ship everything just so they can head crack you for 2-3 times the price. Like, I know this is silly, but that Pokemon Target collab had me rolling in laughter because I'm watching videos. I love Pokemon. If I catch it, I'll catch it, but I'm not jumping out the window at all. I like good clothes. Stylish. You could put some things together if you got the right style, for sure. But I'm not jumping out the window just because it's a Pokemon Windbreaker. And the Windbreaker was tough. But I don't mess with Gen 1. I'll wait for Gen 2, Gen 3. Yeah, I'll even wait for Gen 4. That's how I'm feeling. But just watching the fight videos and people like losing their minds, acting control, acting like they have no sense for really poor material clothing. Let's be honest. Like, it's a cool collab, yeah, but the material itself and everything going on around it ain't it. Who is this? Bless you. Nah, you good? That's real life. Oh, they all sending invites. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. So they talking about the north of Finn. I done searched that whole side of the continent. I'll go back and try again, but are you gonna flee? You gonna flee? You gonna run from me? Chidori. So I wonder, do you still have to buy like the upgraded spell separate? Am I just leveling up the proficiency of the base spell? You know, like Blizzaraga, and Fyra? Like, will these eventually turn into it? Or am I just strengthening up like Blizzard 1 all the way to like Blizzard 10? You know? And nah, yeah, so rhetorical questions. I might ask y'all a few questions. Sorry. But you know what? I'm on live with it, so I'll ask the chat live, sure. But all in all, I don't like looking up guides. I like to keep it easy, you know? See, I done ended up all the way in the cut. Over here trying to be Elliot the Adventurer. Something crazy. They ain't know that I'm the way. They didn't know that I'm the way. Hold on. Man, on they knew what. Okay, okay. Let's figure it out. So I'm chilling, right? Living my life, doing what it do. And I guess, yo, there's a lot. I don't even know where to start. There's a lot. But I guess we're gonna take it day by day, step by step. I'm still really confused as to where this town is. R.I.P. Hayden Panettiere. For sure, for sure. And no lie, it's honestly crazy that that happened so soon in the midst of like the Kingdom Hearts 4 announcement stuff. Like, it was definitely left me mixed. Now, boy, talking about, all right, fair question, right? Which was better, Avatar: The Last Airbender or Naruto? Which was a better show? Think about that one. Me personally, I'm going. That's tough. I gotta go Avatar: The Last Airbender, only because it's more concise. There's a little bit, and we're talking Naruto Part 1, right? We'll take Naruto Part 1. Everything before Shippuden. No fillers. And you see that? How I have to set those parameters? I don't have to do that for Avatar. It's a concise story. Naruto, very much a concise story, but there's too much fat in between the meat. You know what I'm saying? There's too much. You gotta like move a little goalpost, sweep under the rug over here, or are we gonna count, you know? But there's heavy arcs. Now there's certain runs, and obviously, actually, I'm not even sure, which I feel like Naruto Part 1 has more episodes. But something tells me they're both around like the 50-ish. I don't know. But regardless, I feel like they both have really great stories, and they both touch on a lot of the same similar themes, but Avatar gets to it in a way cleaner manner, way more not productive, but way more essential. Like, oh, we're gonna get there. Doom. Even the fake filler arc where they chilling in like the hotel in Ba Sing Se waiting in the midst of the Dai Li shenanigans, right? Concise. Like, very much concise. Even the filler arc, it wasn't even filler when Zuko and gang went to Fire Beach or whatever. It was like fake filler that still added substance and context to the character development. Naruto's filler, straight filler. Like, they drew some BS. Like, we hunting cats even though we just slayed 300 ninja. I guess. We gonna follow Jiraiya around to a couple hot springs, even though he's supposed to be training Naruto, but we all know Naruto just there. So instead of focusing on someone else's training arc within the same generation as Naruto, I guess. But then you got the Sasuke retrieval arc. Classic. Chunin exams. Classic. It's a lot. Neji versus, and then which series has the better fight scenes, more iconic fight scenes? Easily Naruto. But fights only make up but so much. You feel me? Okay, okay. Oh, I forgot. No more airship. Cooked. I'm about to walk it. I'm about to walk it. Okay, okay. Let's figure it out. Okay, okay. Queen B, get the ice. But yeah, man, back onto the whole like analog, anti-digital, physical wave that's been going on. All in all, man, I think the importance of physical media is very much a staple. And I also believe that this is really just cycling after music and movies, right? Follow me. Let me explain. If you're a huge fan of music, then you probably know. Well, if you're a huge fan that's like 25 and older, you for sure know, and you were there for. We watch CDs die and get replaced by MP3s. We watch MP3s get thrown to the side in service of streaming. And then we got tired of streaming to the point where we're still hunting CDs. CDs never left. This is the trendy needle, right? And then vinyls make a huge resurgence. Now, guess who's out here making vinyl makers or vinyl players, right? Sony. Guess who owns what, half the artists, half the mainstream artists in the world? Sony. And guess what I be seeing every time I go to like the back like section of like Target or Best Buy or vinyls with artists signed to Sony next to the Sony vinyl players in the electric section. So I say that to say this, and the simple fact that this is a trend that's, yeah, more profitable being digital for corporations, I imagine, because you're spending less costs on trades, exports, and materials. But all in all, the consumer dollar is the loudest voice in the room. And I believe there's always for one, if we're truly ever so progressive, why can't we have both options? Like, why are we even trying to phase out the physical side? Like, crazy works. But onto more like pertinent things, I feel the fact that, how do I say this? It's only beneficial to keep both options, not just for the sake of convenience on the digital side, but preservation on the physical side. And yes, like, if you don't take care of your physical things, they will wear, tear, and break over time. Eventually, it will wear and tear and break over time because time is undefeated. But care and energy and proper use go a long way. Hence why there's still complete and box editions of old Super Nintendo N64 games still floating around at conventions and stuff. Like, pieces of time, history. Now, do I believe they should be going for exorbitant amounts of prices? No. Because, bruh, to even get to that point to play it, you have to do the most. You have to do the most. And I'm still lost. But we gonna figure it out. Retrace your steps, right? Nunchaku. But with that trend, like, I feel, and Nintendo this might be a weird stance, but I now have 2 game key cards, right? Mind you, I still have like mostly digital games, but I have 2 game key cards that I went out and bought. One for Adventures of Elliot, the other is the day 1 version of Rebirth. I needed that Zack Fair card. That's my GOAT. I don't care what you say. Crisis Core is my GOAT. So, albeit they don't have the convenience of saving you any space, but they do keep the same convenience of always being within reach, right? And I really got Adventures of Elliot because I knew it was a game that, for one, I was interested in off rip, and 2, it would hit me if somehow this game became unplayable in the future after I spent the like 60 whatever cash for it. It would hit me for real, because I enjoyed this game, and like, I'm a sentimental person, right? From the debut demo to the prologue demo to the release day, I love that game. But did she just charge me $650? Hold on. And just rush me out of there like that? I don't like that. To be based far to the north of Finn. Right? Far to the north of Finn. We talking so far north that we going south? That's Finn Castle, right? No, let me talk to her. Oh, she got kidnapped. Facts. Oh, you hating. Oh, you hater. Alright, so okay, we got some magic on me. We got some magic on me. Should I pick up that mithril knife just cause? No, alright. We good. Yeah, without it. We good without it. We good without it. Let's just go so far north to the south. And you'll eventually end up at the top of the map again, right? Far to the north. Fist of the North Star. Nani? Inayo. Mariwa. Yo, that meme is hilarious. Oh, I'm blind. I can't see. I want to flee. Get me out of here, flee. 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 Let's go, flee. It is I, the flea. Oh, we still blind is crazy works. Yeah. Okay. They got some tones on them. This is what I'm saying. I already went all the way up here. Okay, keep going. Keep going. Are we really blind? Yo, 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 yo. Wow. We did it. Oh, we did it. Okay, okay. I guess there's a lot, man. 9 hours in. Blow this ship up. Oh, it's a whole dungeon. I ain't scared. Oh, you're gas. Oh, didn't I just fight you? Yeah, I'm a rebel cur. The fuck? He the captain. Okay, so we fighting the captain. Hey, mission complete. Stars in the Wraith. Blizzard on the Wraith. So all in all, there's quite a few things I guess to talk about. Where we at with it? I could give y'all my little rundown on Final Fantasy 1. So it's the poster child of classic turn-based JRPGs. It's the first in the iconic series. I came to the game expecting it to be the basic save the princess and fetch quests, but it's true. It's literally the opening sequence, and funny enough, in comparison to modern game, this is a little bit had no tutorial, which I didn't realize that it didn't have a tutorial until that friction in storytelling, and which in turn makes you realize that you have to actually prioritize exploration and NPC interaction. And that's something that's often lacked in modern gaming because everything's already so streamlined for you. Oftentimes than not, it's very easy for you to just be on autopilot. But Final Fantasy 1 was a good return back to the norm. Or I guess for me personally, because it felt like doing a good crossword puzzle, you know? But it's about my time. It's about that time. You know what time it is. Lunchtime. I'll be back for word. Alright, so boom, right? Like peep this. Seek ooh e, right? There's a lot. I guess a little self promo won't hurt. I guess it won't hurt. So if you haven't heard by now, now you know. Welcome, it's Wayne's World RPG. It's your boy Wayne. Yeah. I love video games. RPGs are my favorite genre thus far. And I've been having fun experimenting, dipping my toes in other genres and stuff. Obviously, those aren't the only games I play, but now that I'm older and I've developed a more refined taste and I'm able to cognizantly appreciate the art that I'm digesting on a more refined level, I've been having fun playing some different shit. And I feel like the Switch 2 and 2025, the year 2026, has been a really good and a really like prime time to have that mind state, because not only are we getting great games all across the board, every platform, but the third parties are showing the Switch 2 so much love. Big ups to Capcom and Square Enix for real, because I feel like they set the tone. OD with Requiem, Pragmata, and Square Enix has really just been going crazy. They just dropped Final Fantasy 14 on Switch 2 after they gave us Rebirth and Remake. Come on. This is icy. And we getting Revelation Day 1. Come on, talk to me nice. Baby, I'm lit. Baby. Let me the bone. You feel me? But it's been good, though. It's been good. And I feel like despite how good it gets, there will always be some BS controversy. Let me explain. So, I can understand if you've been waiting on Nintendo first parties, and I brought this up in the past video. Y'all could go through the channel. I might link it. We'll see how I feel after this. You know, I'm still new to this, but you probably are waiting for Nintendo first parties, especially if you're like one of those Super Nintendo fans, the Minish Cap Mafia, as they say. Oh, I love that. So you're probably waiting on Nintendo first party games, which is cool. Like, there's a few people I know that they only play first party games on their Switch, like since 2017 till 2026 and beyond. They will only play first party games on their Switch. And it's literally two people. And you want to know why? I could say those two people, because they have other consoles. So they really only play Nintendo for Mario Kart, the 3D Mario, and one of them plays Zelda. The other one just picked up Donkey Kong Bonanza. I didn't even know my boy was a Donkey Kong fan, but lit. But on the other hand, he's also running it up on the P5 and playing different games. Like, he's the same homie that put me on a League of Legends way back when. You feel me? And even after that, he tried to put me on to what's this? It's like Jet Set Radio, Cyberpunk Beat Break, something like that. I know I'm butchering the name crazy, and that's no disrespect, but if you look for it, Cyberpunk, not Cyberpunk 2077, but like Cyber Beat Funk Break, something like that. It looks like Jet Set Radio. Yeah, do your own homework. But long story short, he puts me on to games like that, like a very wide variety of games. Even though he, like, if you go through his play history on Switch, it goes to show you how like one-dimensional the Minish Cap Mafia Nintendo fans can be, and it's easily to get in that bag because Nintendo has a lot of historical heights for the industry as a whole, and it's easy to get sentimental locked up in that, which makes a lot of sense. I would love for the winning team to win, especially if that winning team is the home team. But you gotta take a step back sometimes. Like, there's more to the Minish Cap. There's more to Nintendo than that. Like, me, there was a given time where, and like I said before, I've always had like off third-party games or off like franchise games on my like Game Boy or handhelds and stuff. But even, and this, I love to bring this one up, Spectrobes on the DS is a Disney game. It's a Disney Monster Tamer RPG that takes place in space. And there's very few RPGs that go for the Star Trek space travel to planets vibes. And Spectrobes did that. Spectrobes 1 and 2, phenomenal. I don't know about the third one they did for like Wii or Wii U. I never played it, but Spectrobes 1 and then Spectrobes 2 Beyond the Portals, gas. That's how you do a follow-up. Gas. Now, that's one they need to bring back to Switch. I'm riding for that. After Kingdom Hearts of Disney, let us get Spectrobes, all right? Stop being stingy. But weird offshoot games like that, like I'm not, even though like I might only be playing on my DS or my Switch, I'm not only playing Nintendo games. Like up until the Switch 2, outside of the Pokemon folder. And matter of fact, we on live. I'm taking a little break from gaming and Final Fantasy real quick. I can show y'all this. Get a little personal with y'all, right? This is where we at with it, right? So follow me. Just follow me. I know it looks like a lot, but follow me. So outside, this is what I'm here for. This is why 2017, whenever this one came out, this one right here, right there, right? And I have the physical case of my original copy right here in front of me. Unfortunately, due to some trifling friends and bad company, my original Switch Lite and my original hard copy of Pokemon Shield got, right? But big ups to my sister. She had the double pack of Pokemon Sword and Shield, and she fucked with Pokemon Sword. So, long story short, it came back to me. In between then, I had bought the digital copy, I believe. So, all's well that ends well. And that's one thing, like, we could go back into the physical and digital. And that's going to be a little topic, because there's so much that I've learned about physical and digital since putting out, like, those first couple of videos. And there's so much, like, and nobody's perfect. I'm a growing pain, you know? Growing pains, learning experiences, learning curves. And I hope that despite the change, not change in opinion, but despite the change in stance or the change in understanding over time, y'all also come to understand and grow with me. That's why I'm here. And that's why I like having discussions. So back to it, right? So I was here for Pokemon from the age 4 all the way till 29. If you see a Nintendo in my hand, just know, Pokemon, I got them bands, right? Now, where are we? In that same vein, during that same time when I was playing Pokemon Shield, right? And originally, matter of fact, we could go back, right? After I was playing Pokemon Pearl originally, well, I had Diamond originally on the DS. I soon got the PSP, right? And the first 3 games I remember getting on PSP were Naruto, Ultimate Ninja Heroes, facts. What was the other John? Ultimate Ninja Heroes, N Plus, Crisis Core, and that set me off, right? Cool. Then later on, I want to say my second round of games, I go to GameStop and I go pick up Persona, Persona 2 Innocent Sin, right? And little old me, I had to be like probably like sixth grade, like sixth grade, maybe, yeah, like sixth grade, maybe seven. Little old me is playing these crazy JRPGs all while I'm playing Pokemon, dog. All the while I'm playing Pokemon. So I turn on my DS and I'm catching them all, having a good old time, trying to be the very best like no one ever was. And then I close that, turn on the PSP. Oh, it smells like my lunch is done. I'll be back. Yeah, it was definitely done. My bad for saying lunch. It's leftover fajitas from yesterday. Delicious. But yeah, where was I? So all the while, like, there's diversity and stuff, and that's one thing I could say about gaming coming up. That's definitely turned in the last like 5 to 6 years. Is because like Pokemon used to be one of those things I ain't tell the homies like if you knew me, you knew. But like I'm not going out the way to tell you unless you ask. I ain't gonna lie to you, but I ain't going out my way to tell you. We gonna leave it at that. So while I'm playing those types, I'm playing Persona. Persona 3 was Krenak. Persona 3, ooh boy, crazy. I'm playing like it's just different flavors, and all these are still like in the JRPG. And normally, like, and this is where I tell a lot of my friends, like, they be quick to shoot down and talk ish on Pokemon, but Pokemon, you got to give credit. If anything, you got to give it credit for being baby's first RPG. Let me explain. Like, it's exactly that, baby's first RPG, and baby's first might be the worst, but that first step is starts the stride. And it's crazy because some some of people like would really judge you, critique you, like look at you crazy if you playing Pokemon, as if this is not a worldwide hit for a reason. Like it didn't just accidentally wake up one day and be like, you know what, hmm, this might be it. No, it's well liked and it's number one. Pikachu jumped over Mickey Mouse for a reason. All right, yeah, I said it. But it's because like yes, it's easy to digest, but that's a part of like the charm to it. And because Pokemon's easy to digest, I was able to go and pick up Persona, which is easy to digest ish. Well, definitely 4 and 5, but 3 and before, especially before the Reload and Revival remakes come out, like I've played Persona 3P, Persona 4 Golden on the PS Vita, Persona 3P on the PSP, and Persona 1 and 2 on the PSP, right? And those games right there, like, especially 2, they're not easy to digest. So if you don't have inclination to sit down and really read and learn the battle systems and the taunting and the like the negotiations and stuff, you're not even gonna get to the monster demon collecting side of the game. You're not even gonna get to the social high school life. You're not. You're not. That's not how it goes, especially in Innocent Sin, Persona 2. 1 and 2 definitely need that R touch up. Like, I'm not sure if they're gonna call it, like, they're gonna keep with the R schemes, but Persona 1 and 2 definitely need that love, because it makes no sense. But back then, before like that big shift in gaming, it was commonplace to play variety of games. Like, I've played so many platforms and BS that I couldn't tell you the name of them, you know? But I could tell you how much fun I've had. I could tell you how much like of a great time it was, or like, you know? And that gets lost a lot when we're all homogenizing our taste, or we're all playing the same games. My boy Meech, big ups to Meech. That boy always playing some fire and something different. And it's not even something new all the time. Most of the time it's some like PS2 cut that he done found in the cut on the Switch. And I'm looking over at his screen like, huh? And it's interesting. You can tell he has a genuine interest for these games. And that's beautiful, bro. But I guess we could leave it there. I'll pick up Final Fantasy. You know what I'm saying? Um Pocopia is another one. Just because it's Pokemon doesn't mean I'm gonna buy it. I was pump faking on this the whole rollout leading up to Pocopia. I'm like, my boy Dari, Cozy Gamer, Cozy Lord Dari. That boy done put me onto the wave. I sat down, really seen his passion. I'm like, oh, you know what? Cool. I had a lot of fun with Pocopia by myself, no friends. I spent time in there. And then there's certain things that, like, even back on the retro thing in the remake and remasters I was talking about before. Trails in the Sky, another goated RPG series. I've known about it, especially in between the PSP days and stuff. I've known about it, heard about it, but I'm not picking that up. It's, for one, it was a long game when I heard about it. By the time I heard about it, it was already long. But now that they're doing a whole remake and they're building it from the ground up and really just keeping the story intact, it's a lot more approachable and digestible. So I've been able to jump into it. Cool. Euden Chronicle. Shout out to Suikoden, but I need that Euden. You feel me? We there. And both of these are two recent games. Like, I've always heard of Trails, but I've just looked at it from afar. Euden, I never heard of it. I heard of Suikoden, but this one was on sale, so this was the one that got bought. Tokyo Mirage. I had this for Switch One. I still haven't finished it. I'm pretty sure like I'm like 75, if not like I'm in the back end of this game, but it's a fire collab between Atlas and like I think Sega, like whatever. I don't really know. Oh no, Atlas and like Monolith. Like I'm pretty sure. Nor do I care though. It's a great game and it's really cool to see like the dungeon crawler like JRPG setting mixed in with like pop and like idols and music and bright aesthetics. Is crazy. And then there's other games like Resident Evil. My boy Hoodlum, Celeste. I've always like seen Resident Evil from afar, but I love horror movies. Never played a horror game before. For some reason, I love horror movies. I watched mad of them coming up. Done sat down, binge watched some few, but never played a horror game. Like those, the idea never even clicked in my head to play a horror game. Crazy, right? I loved Requiem. Had a great time. Had a ball of a time, for real, for real. And that's a lot, man. It's a lot to say, a lot to do. Hmm. But But yeah, I guess what to say. Technical difficulties. Let me fix this up real quick. Hold on. 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 What's the word? And we back. So yeah, it never really clicked to play fucking horror games, but once I gave Requiem a try, and it was great because in Requiem you feel just as like you feel just as new as in as a character as Grace is as a character into the plot and the story. So it's not too jarring and it's not too abrasive, you know. All in all, I'm gonna leave it there. Catch y'all on the flip side. We'll be back with more Final Fantasy. Ah.